Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Ideas. Today I'm going to show you how you can do your own waist pouch. So this is going to be a bit simpler than a regular fanny pack, which you can already find on our channel. So this is actually usually meant for jogging, but I think you can use it for pretty much whatever. So in my case, what I do recommend is a really light fabric that's not heavy. And yeah, let's get started. Stay tuned. Today we're going to need several things. For example, a buckle. So I have here a plastic one, but you can of course take whichever one you have or prefer. So this should be wide enough to fit your elastic band, so you're also going to need that. You will need about a yard or a meter long piece of band. So you can see that mine matches the width of the buckle, so that's what you want to plan ahead. So it should match the width of your buckle, and you can make it even a little bit wider if you prefer. Then I have here super thin stretchy fabric. I'll show you in a moment up close what it is. Then a zipper, 50 to 60 centimeters of length or half a yard, and then you're going to need of course fabric scissors, something to measure with. I do recommend using measuring tapes this time so that you can take your own measures too. And then some thread of course and some pins. So here is my fabric, super thin and very stretchy. So this time I do want it very light and as stretchy as possible. So this is what I found for today. Of course, the design and the look is completely up to you, so that's your own choice. And the size here is 60 centimeters of width, so 23 to 24 inches and 30 centimeters tall. So about 11 to 12 inches, half of that. And if you want, of course, you can do this as big or as small as you like. Just adjust the length if you want it for a jacket like I do and have a longer jacket, for example, then you gotta adjust a little bit. So if you're a bit insecure, you can just take my size, of course. So once again, I did about 35 centimeters times 60. My zipper is only 50 centimeters, so about a half a yard as mentioned. So it's a bit shorter than the fabric itself, but that won't be a big issue. I'll just stitch the ends up and that way I can make it look really nice and neat. So let's start right away. We're gonna align with the one edge. So you want the pretty side looking toward you this time, so it's gonna be on top. And then you align your zipper. Make sure you have the same distance from the fabric end on both sides, and if your zipper is the exact same length as your fabric, then you can just align the ends. Afterwards, you're gonna pin this to keep it together. Also make sure that your zipper is the other way around. So you want it looking away from you, and the fabric should be looking or facing you, so looking toward you. Make sure that you take a zipper foot, so mine is like this, it's for both sides. Sometimes it's just for one half, so actually most of these have just one side. Either type will do just fine, of course, so whichever you have, you can use it. Make sure that if you can't do a stretch stitch, which actually with the zipper you do want a straight stitch, just make sure you use a stretch or jersey needle. This might be a bit tricky for complete beginners, but it's definitely not impossible to do. So here I am, this is what we have. I did a double stitch so that I know it's going to stay this way. So as I said, we're doing just a regular straight stitch with stretchy fabric. It might be a little bit tricky, a little bit challenging, but it's definitely doable. Just take your time. Now you need your second end, so let's fold this one side onto the other. you want this side on top, pretty side facing you. So this is the side without the zipper, and now we're just folding the zipper end with the end without it. Again, make sure you align the ends. So zipper on the inside, pretty side facing it. Now that you did the other side of the zipper, this is what you should have, so you can turn this inside out to check. Let's unzip it. So in my case, I don't see anything weird going on. I'll zip this up again. Of course, optionally, you could do an extra stitch here on top, on the outside of the zipper, so that way you have it a little bit flatter. So just a regular straight stitch is what you would do right next to the zipper, but this time I think I'll skip that because the stretchy fabric isn't the most optimal type of fabric for that, so it might look weird or just be a bit more difficult to do. But if you'd like to give it a shot, feel free to go ahead. Let's turn now, so we want the inside facing us. So now we want to stitch the little pieces that we have left over. So let's unzip a bit. Now you can align the zipper like this. There we go, then stitch this open section up, so just a short stitch here till you get to the zipper. If you'd like, you can go kinda upwards here, and that way you make sure that you're really closing everything. So same we will do on the other side. So I did this on both sides, and this is what I get. The same we did on the other side, and that way the ends are closed up, and we can turn it now to show you so that we can see what it looks like. So this way we have the main section done, so the tunnel with the zipper. If you're using this for a jacket like I am, then it's time to check if the size fits. I'll make the zipper stay in the middle, but you can do it on the side or somewhere in between. That's completely up to you, so it doesn't change the design or the way you do it. So mine will be in the middle, but this is what it would be like if you move it a bit to the one side. So just make sure you like the way it looks. Our next step is to measure our waist or hips, or if you want it as a crossbody bag, you can do that as well. So you want to measure that, then that's completely up to you. So I'm going to do this for a size 104 centimeters of waist length, or actually waist circumference. So maybe you remember that our piece is about 60 centimeters long. So that's how wide the front section or the actual back section is. So that's already one piece of it. And we just need to reach our size with the band. So 104 centimeters minus 60 is 54 centimeters left over. And then I'll cut out half of that of my elastic band, but I'm going to do it 2 times. So we want the buckle in the middle of the band, and that's why we're doing two pieces that add up to 54, which is in my case about 27 centimeters, a bit over that maybe. So I think anywhere between 25 and 30 this time is going to be just fine. Since we do the stitches, they take up a bit of room, the buckle itself as well, and the other end goes to the other side the same way. So the other end of the main piece, you can do this, of course, longer or shorter depending on how tight you want it and depending on your own size, of course. So I need to turn this inside out to continue working on it. There we go. So just unzip a bit so that you can turn it later. Then decide where you want your zipper to go. So if you want it in the middle, then it should be the same way on the inside, or just shift it a bit to the side. It's actually the same thing. It doesn't change anything. I think I like this position for now, and now let's explain what we're gonna do next. So one half of the elastic band goes inside. I'm pushing it all the way to the inside. So we should have just a bit of it sticking out, and then pin it to keep it together, including the edges above and below it. So this might be a bit tricky if you're a complete beginner, but still it's definitely doable in case you don't have a lot of experience. So let me pin this and I'll show you then what I mean. So just a straight stitch along here, along the whole thing, and then you can do an extra zigzag stitch over it to keep it stable and neat. That's the easiest way to do it. My fabric doesn't fray, it just rolls in a little bit, which is also great, but either way, you do this on both sides, of course. Push the band inside, make sure it's really in the middle, and then just stitch it up. So you should have a really clean, nice stitch here. So you already see the zigzag I was talking about, and since the fabric doesn't fray, then this is pretty much done. So we can now turn this inside out. So let's do that really quick. Also make sure to go into the corners, and that way you have it all nice and neat where it's supposed to be. Okay, there we go. So you see here now the end, the one side, the zipper, I'm gonna unzip completely now, and let me fix the little corner here, the other one as well. Now we can zip to check if it all looks good. So I actually did one on the one side, the shorter one, and the longer one on the other side, the bands I mean. And then you see here the corners are also really nice. Okay, so here is our longer side, and on the other side, the shorter piece that I did is gonna be where our buckle goes. So here it is. I have just a regular plastic buckle, nothing special here, so you can find this pretty much anywhere. And of course, we are gonna need just the one half this time. So this is actually, as you can see, symmetrical, so it goes either way. Some of them don't. I'm not gonna close it all the way since I'm gonna take it apart in a second. So you just gotta check that there are no twists or anything going on. You don't want that. And then you want this piece on the side, and the other one, the other half of the buckle is gonna go with the other side, the longer piece of the elastic band. So anyway, this half gets the shorter side, we just go through with it, and it's super simple. So we're just gonna do a regular stitch on here on the back in my case. You can also fold like this to make it kind of neater, so just a little seam there. And yeah, just a regular straight stitch here. You can also do an extra stitch on the bottom to keep it a bit safer and more stable. So you can of course go here multiple times and secure it that way. I also decided to do a zigzag stitch since this is stretchy, so zigzag stitches are really great for that. They just keep everything in place. And yeah, now we can get to the other side. So the longer piece in my case, you can of course make these equally long, but I think this is going to look a lot nicer. So let's get all the way to the end, take the other half of our buckle, and then go through the top little slit in here. So you see how I'm going from the back of it, and then I'm going to go through the front of the other hole or slit for it. Then I'll pull the whole thing through, so that way you can actually adjust the length of the band and of course the width of the entire bag. So I really like that it's stretchy as well, but that way, apart from the stretchiness, you can still kind of make it longer or shorter and therefore use it in multiple different ways if you like. So this is optional, of course, but you could cut it off somewhere, wherever you think it's going to be too long. Of course, we're going to seam this again, so just fold it over a couple of times, and then, yeah, decide whichever way you like it, stitch over it a little bit. Again, a zigzag stitch is just fine, and that way the buckle can't slip off of it, which is what we want. So let's do this stitch here now. That way it's definitely for every way that you can possibly wear it, and for even bigger or smaller people than you. So if you want to use it with another family member that has a different body size than you, that's going to work great. So as I said, you can cut this off, you can shorten it. I'm just going to leave it as long as it is and just stitch over it. So here I am, I fixed this section, so now I have the stitch on here and my buckle can't really slip out of it anymore, so that's the whole point of this. You can see that it is stretching, but it's not slipping out, which is what we want. So now's the time that you actually check what you have, and if you like the size, if you like the length or the width, you can check the zipper again. But this is pretty much it. You can stick whatever you want inside. The sides are also secure and safe, so all of the stitches should be pretty neat right now. Of course, you can use this for pretty much whatever you'd like. So I'm going to use it for a lighter jacket that I want to take with me when I go jogging, but you can, of course, use it for different purposes. So if you make it smaller, you can even use it for your cell phone and keys. And you can even make it bigger if you'd like, so that's completely customizable. I love the fabric itself. I think it's really great. I love that it's stretchy, and I think it's really durable this way. I want to show you also you can fold it up and make it smaller. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I think it looks really nice, but let me know what you think in the comment section. You can also shoot us a thumbs up to let us know you enjoyed, and if you'd like to see more such projects, feel free to subscribe to our channel. So thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. I hope you make your own and you really like it as much as I like mine, and I'll see you in our next project. Until then, have a wonderful day. Bye!